And how we doing, everybody? Hello. It is a good day, everybody. Well, it's nighttime right now. What time is it even? It's 11:50. I mean, I have lost complete track of time. Hello. The Red Sox have signed Alex Bregman. My goodness, I'm still in shock. I'm still processing this. Still a lot of emotions going on, right? You know, the Red Sox coming into the offseason, you knew they were going to start making some moves, but you just wondered how far were they willing to go. You know, the Juan Soto stuff came out of nowhere, and you're thinking, okay, this could be realistic. Could we actually land the big dog in Juan Soto? Ended up falling short. He went to the Mets, but then you make the Garrett Crochet trade. Then you go out there, get Walker Buehler. You know, you start making some respectable signings, right? You know, Aroldis Chapman coming in to beef up the bullpen, Justin Wilson, but you felt like they were still lacking something. You knew they needed one more guy, and you knew they needed a right-handed bat, right? You know, there were some other right-handed bats on the market. You had Teoscar Hernandez out there. Willie Adames was out there as an option at one point. And then the market started dwindling, and you're thinking, okay, who is this right-handed bat going to be? Alex Bregman is still sitting there. Has the Alex Cora connection? Cora was raving about Alex Bregman at the winter meetings. There was a clear connection there. He's always hit well at Fenway Park. Perfect ballpark for him. And he's still just sitting there. And then you think back to the last 5 years or so. You lost out to Zach Eflin. You lost out to Seth Lugo, to two small market teams, might I add. And you're starting to think, like, okay, are the Red Sox actually going to pony up the money for Mr. Alex Bregman when the Detroit Tigers were involved? And supposedly, they made a big offer, according to John Heyman. I guess over $170 million. I mean, that caught me by surprise. I was thinking maybe the Blue Jays were a team that made a pretty good offer. In the end, you had the Tigers there. The Cubs came in late. You know, they were trying to figure out some kind of a creative deal. You know, like I said, the Blue Jays, maybe a return to Houston. But you're still thinking, Alex Bregman, he's perfect for Fenway Park. If you're going to do a short deal with opt-outs, why not Fenway Park? Because that's a place where he's always hit well in his career. You could juice up his numbers for a whole year. And then if you wanted to go back out into the market again next year, I mean, to me, the Red Sox were the perfect landing spot. But the only question was, would they spend the money to get it done? That was the only thing. And go back, like I said, Zach Eflin, Seth Lugo, you didn't know if they were going to do that. And they did. They got the monkey off their back with this. You know, sure, it's not a long-term deal. You know, it's not a Juan Soto deal by any means, but this is a lot of money. We're going to break this down. Everyone, we are here tonight, brought to you by the Foul Territory Network. If you are listening live with us here on YouTube, think about hitting the subscribe button for us. We're trying to get to 3K by opening day. Hit the like button for us as well. If you are listening in audio form, wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, Google, Spotify, Google, Stitcher, wherever it may be, give us a 5-star rating. It really helps us out. But let's dive into this, shall we? There is a lot to talk about here. We're going to talk about the contract. We're going to talk about, you know, the impact he brings to the lineup. You know, where is he going to play, right? You know, we've been talking about second base, but could there be another option out there? We're going to break this down. Let's get to it here. So here we go. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Look at this. If you're with us live on YouTube, look at Alex Bregman in that Red Sox jersey. Look at that jersey swap. Oh, mwah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Oh, it's great. But here we go. The one to break it, I believe, was Chandler Rome. Now, if we were to go here, he said here, Alex Bregman's contract with the Red Sox is for 3 years and $120 million, sources tell The Athletic. That is a pretty hefty penny right there, ladies and gentlemen. That is, it took me, in my head, I think at first, I thought I saw 120, so I was thinking 30 million in my head, but then I looked a little closer and I'm like, oh, that's 40 million per year. And that made me think, wow, the Red Sox, they really stepped up there in the end. They got aggressive in the end. I'm waiting to hear the fallout of this. I'm waiting to hear the fly on the wall stuff here. Unless there's already some stuff out there that I've completely missed. But I want to know what this whole process was like. Was this a late charge from the Red Sox? Like, did they come in hot at the end and get the deal done. John Henry or his wife putting out a picture of that man smoking a cigar. That's amazing. That's amazing. We needed the old John Henry. We needed that. They needed that. And he stepped up and they got it done. But again, I am waiting to see how this ended up coming together. I'm very interested. Was this something the Red Sox, were they in this ballpark the entire time? Or did they just make a phone call and say, all right, you know what? We're done with this. We're done playing the games. $40 million per year. Opt out after each season. Take it or leave it, or we're going after Arenado. Funny thing, I guess if you really think about it, did they use the Arenado trade talks as leverage this entire time? Kind of seems like it now. Or was that a realistic possibility? Was that something that could have happened? It felt like it. You were starting to hear Arenado all over the place. Everywhere. Everyone was talking about it. Because you're thinking, are the Red Sox going to spend the money? And in the end, they did. Arenado, sure, would have been nice. I would have liked the defense at third base. I would have liked to see what the bat could do at Fenway Park. I think you would have seen a revitalized Arenado at Fenway. But either way, I would have been completely okay with him. I feel a lot better about this one, though. This is what I wanted from the start. Going back, early on in the offseason, I would have been okay with Teoscar Hernandez. I would have been okay with Willy Adames. But, one thing to bring up with those guys is while I would have liked those additions, the Red Sox really needed to work on the strikeouts. They were a high strikeout team this past year. That's one benefit Alex Bregman is going to bring to this lineup. And that's just one of many benefits here. Now, if we're to really break this down, this is a big impact here. There's a lot coming to the table here that I think people don't even realize, like how much he is bringing to the table. First off, right-handed bat. That's what the Red Sox needed. They needed balance in this lineup, right? You had too many lefties. There's lefties all over the place. You needed an everyday right-handed bat. No, not Randall Grichuk. No, not Justin Turner. I love my ginger brother. I miss that man, but that's not the bat you needed, right? You needed an everyday right-handed bat to balance out this lineup. And Craig, he's been telling us that from the get-go. He's been saying that for a while. He was just saying that, yesterday? Saying, yeah, we're engaged, trying to find, an impact right-handed bat. A lot of people were thinking this guy's full of BS. This guy's, he's just Mr. Word Salad, But in the end, Craig was telling you right to your face that they were working on it, and he got it done. So I think there needs to be a little bit more faith with Craig Breslow moving forward. He got the big trade done this offseason, and he got the big signing done. It was a buzzer-beater signing, but he got the deal done. So Bregman, strikeouts. That's going to help out. But where Bregman is really going to bring the impact is how good that bat plays at Fenway Park. If you're looking for a bat that fits perfectly at Fenway Park, it belongs to Alex Bregman. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be Manny Ramirez by any means, but when you look at the batted ball metrics, pretty middle of the road last year, right? In Houston, he had the Crawford boxes fitting there. So a lot of people were thinking, well, is Comerica going to be a good fit for him? Will Wrigley Field be a good fit for him? But you look at Fenway Park and you go to the park factor for right-handed hitters. They were very good when it came to park factor, right? I think they were third overall when it came to right-handed bats. You got the Green Monster there. He's a guy that is going to be a pull hitter at Fenway. Well, he's always been a pull hitter, but he's definitely going to use that to his advantage at Fenway Park. I see getting at least 30 doubles. Maybe he even approaches 40. I could see a 25 home run guy from Bregman. The bat is going to bring a lot of impact. He has always hit well at Fenway Park. Over a 1,200 career OPS at Fenway Park in his career. There's no question. This is a great fit. Now, like I said, I would have liked to have seen what Arenado could have done. I was thinking that was going to be the more realistic option because I was thinking in my head the Red Sox didn't want to spend the money. They would have gone for the cheaper route with Arenado. But this is definitely the better option, right? You're getting a guy that's a few years younger than Arenado. This is just so much better across the board, right? It's so much better. Now, where Bregman is also going to impact the Red Sox is the defense. Defensively, he has always been very good, right? Third base. You got to remember, with Bregman coming up with the Astros, Cora was the one, he talked about this when he came on the show, and he said, hey, Bregman, this is a guy that we needed at third base at the time, right? Because you already had Correa, you had Altuve. They had to move Bregman out of necessity. But you got to remember, Bregman was a shortstop coming up. At LSU, guy was a great shortstop. He is going to be perfectly fine if second base is his home moving forward. Cora's even talked about this. He says he sees Bregman as a guy that's a perfect middle infielder, right? Perfect guy for second base, right? So let's see if this is the route they end up going. We'll talk about third base in just a second, but if he ends up playing second base, there's going to be some good defense over there. The Red Sox really needed improvement with that, especially if Trevor Story is back for a full year. I mean, if you factor that in as well, the defense is going to improve so much in the middle infield. I can't tell you enough how important middle infield defense is. You need to have that spine of the field strong. You need good defense in the middle infield. Catcher, you need to be good there. Center field, you need to be good there. They're doing pretty good overall when it comes to the spine of the field. Now, it's going to be interesting with Rafael Devers. Now, the big talking point with Arenado was Rafi would move off, probably go to DH. If they ended up moving Casas, who was hot on the trade block at one point, maybe they could have him play first base. Obviously, that's not going to happen now. But when it comes to Rafi at third, could you still see a scenario where Bregman ends up playing third base? I think it's possible. Now, I thought about it because I'm seeing people talk about it. And I think in the end, what's going to end up happening is he ends up playing a little bit of third base here and there, right? To give Rafi a day off or whatever they do there, right? However they shuffle the lineup. I think Bregman will play a little third base here and there. I could see him playing 10, 20 games, maybe 30. I could see something like that. However, another wrinkle in this is what's going to happen with Christian Campbell. If Christian Campbell checks off all the boxes in spring, right? It's not just about the numbers. It's about the little things, right? It's the swing decisions, the quality of contact, right? The plate discipline. There's a lot of factors that they're going to be looking at when it comes to Christian Campbell because they are not going to rush this guy. I'm going to tell you that right now. They are not going to rush Christian Campbell, especially now that they have Bregman in the fold. However, if Campbell balls out in spring training and this guy is just checking off all the boxes and he's looking great, there could be a conversation where Christian Campbell could be at second base, Rafi moves off a third, Bregman goes to third, and then what happens with Yoshida? That is something to consider. Right now, I'd say the way you see the lineup here with Bregman at second, Rafi at third, I think that's what it's going to be right now. But look out. Look out for a possible conversation. If Campbell's ready, there could be something there. We'll just have to wait and see as spring training unfolds. I mean, full squad workouts haven't even happened yet. So let's wait and see. Another impact Alex Bregman brings to the fold with the Red Sox. And honestly, I love the bat. Sure, he's going to improve the defense. I love all that. But I would actually argue what I love the most is what he brings to the team as a competitor, as a person, and what he's going to bring in terms of a competitive attitude, right? Alex Bregman coming up, this is a guy where, his parents, I believe, were in the, I believe they were attorneys or whatever. He's always been in a competitive environment, right? Growing up as a kid. Then he goes to LSU. Obviously, a big program there in college. Guy that was just built to win, right? Comes up with the Astros. Guys just winning left and right. Whatever. Say what you will about the trash cans. I don't want to talk about it. That's a whole different conversation. Whatever. But still, the Astros, they won a lot of games. Won another World Series in 2022. This guy's a winner. And that's what the Red Sox needed. They needed a guy like this. They didn't need someone loud. They didn't need someone boisterous. But they needed a guy that has swagger. And they needed a guy that knows how to win. They needed, in my opinion, something close to Dustin Pedroia. And that's the closest thing you're going to get to Pedroia. I will always love Pedroia, obviously for what he did on the field, but what he just brought to the team in terms of his competitive nature, his leadership, the fire that he brought to the team. Bregman is going to give you a lot of that. He's going to give you that chip on his shoulder. This is a guy that wants to win. He's going to be great for this clubhouse. I can't even say it enough. Okay? And they need that. The Red Sox, sure, they got some veterans here, but you got a lot of young guys as well. Sure, Trevor Story, he's a veteran as well. But, Story over the last couple of years, he's been trying to figure himself out when it comes to the injuries, right? Bregman, I think this is a guy that you can count on when it comes to being on the field, and he's going to bring that competitive edge to him, right? He's going to keep guys in line. He's going to want the best out of these guys, right? Had a lot of success in Houston. He's going to bring that over here to Boston, right? Obviously has a good relationship with Alex Cora already. He brings so much, not just as a player, but as a person. And I think that's exactly what the Red Sox need. They needed someone like this in the clubhouse. They needed a voice in the clubhouse. A guy that will also not just have a voice, but lead by example as well. This is what they need. Now, yeah, Raffy, obviously the guy's phenomenal, right? Trevor Story, love Trevor Story, right? I think he brings a lot of good things as a guy in the clubhouse. But you needed a guy like Bregman who's been there, done that, knows how to win championships, knows how to, talk with these guys in the clubhouse, even just a conversation about just hitting, right? Philosophy, right? Strategy. Bregman is a dude, and he's going to be awesome for this team. I can't stress enough how important that's going to be. This is such a great signing. It's so good. Now, if you want, let's talk about the contract, right? 3 years, 120. Yeah, that's pricey. That's pricey. I was talking about it saying, hey, I'm glad the Red Sox, they just stepped up and got it done. I see the $40 million per year. That's a lot of money. However, this is what you need to do to get the deal done. This is what the Red Sox have been lacking. You had, like I said earlier, you had all these teams involved. You needed to make a move like this. You needed to slap down an offer that this man could not refuse. Great move from a front office point of view, because you have to get aggressive. If you want your guy, just like here's another thing too. I want to point this out because I'm seeing people say, oh, this is too much money. $40 million per year. This is the same amount of money that Aaron Judge is making per year. Well, that's completely different. But those same people are the ones that are, looking at what the Dodgers are doing this offseason. And they're praising the Dodgers, all this money they're shelling out for Blake Snell, Teoscar, all these guys. They're praising these guys. They're praising what the Dodgers are doing. But then I see these same people, they're hating on this. It's like, well, what are we just never going to be happy? Is that just a thing? I don't know. I'm glad they did this. Yeah, it's a lot of money, but it's a 3-year deal. Opt-outs after 2025 and 2026, but it's a 3-year deal. This is great. This is such a win in every single way possible. I can't even stress how amazing this entire situation is. And there's going to be money deferred according to reports. So, it's such a win. I can't even say it enough how much of a win this is. Now, let's talk about the Red Sox league. Things just got interesting. All of a sudden, the Red Sox in the major leagues, they now have the 7th best projected record on Fangraphs, where they are usually pretty conservative. They got them at 85 and 77. They got the Yankees at 87 and 75. All of a sudden, ladies and gentlemen, the American League East just got interesting. I think the Red Sox are absolutely going to be contenders for this division. Absolutely. They were a team that you were looking at before Bregman. You're thinking, okay, they have a good shot at a wild card, right? They could probably get the 3rd, Maybe they could get the second. Could they get the first? Well, I don't know. You got teams like Baltimore there. Whatever happens with the Yankees and Baltimore with the East, the other one, is probably going to get that first wild card, right? Some other strong contenders in the American League as well. All right. So you're thinking, okay, the Red Sox, they have a shot at one of the wild card spots, probably 2 or 3. But now all of a sudden, you had a guy like Bregman, who is a 4-win player, 4 wins above replacement on Fangraphs over the last few years. And I expect him to keep doing that for the next couple of years. He just brings so much in terms of just a balanced profile offensively and defensively. He just made your team that much better. And all of a sudden, I think the Red Sox are a bona fide division contender. This is what Sam Kennedy talked about. This is what he was saying. They did it. Sam Kennedy told you, and that's another thing. I said we got to have a bit more faith in Craig now moving forward. But now let's start having a little bit more faith in Sam Kennedy, because those words just got backed up. What he said at the beginning of the offseason. He said, we will go, if it takes going over the CBT, then so be it, to go after the division. They just did that. The Red Sox just went over the CBT, which sounds kind of mind-boggling the way they've been going about the payroll over the last few years. The Red Sox now have a payroll on Fangraphs. It's at $249.7 million. Probably on the Red Sox payroll account on Twitter, he probably has it. It's probably a little higher than this, probably at around $255 million. They just backed up their words. And all of a sudden, the feelings are so good with the Red Sox. And I think the Yankees, they saw this. And I think the Yankees all of a sudden think, okay, all right, here we go. Red Sox, Yankees, we're back, baby. It's going to get juicy this season. This is a great move. And I'm not just saying, trying to sound like a biased Red Sox fan. I think as a baseball fan, this is a great move. Should be widely praised. I can't say enough how great this is. There's so many good things. I'm very excited about the Red Sox moving forward here. I was excited about them before this. I was waiting to see, kind of how this team could go, but I saw some good things, a lot of good things. But now that you do this, all of a sudden my excitement went from like a 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Like, this is what we've been waiting for. A well-rounded team, good veterans, lots of potential with the young guys. We got some pitching now. We have an ace in Garrett Crochet. A bullpen that's been beefed up. I do wonder if there could be another move for the bullpen. I know that might be asking for a lot right now, considering they obviously just spent the big money here. But I do wonder if a bullpen move could be on the horizon. Maybe that could be a deadline kind of a thing. That's another interesting thing to think about now, because the Red Sox, they have put themselves into a position to compete for this division. What are things going to look like at the trade deadline? They're going to, I would imagine they're going to be right in the thick of things for the division. I could see the Red Sox maybe going after, a pretty solid name out there now that they've beefed up this farm system a bit over not a bit, a lot over the last few years. Could they make a big splash at the deadline? If the bullpen, if they're having maybe, I could see the bullpen being a slight question mark here, because you don't know how Hendricks is going to be. Chapman, I don't really see as a closer. Slayton, can he replicate what he did this past year? I don't know, right? Whitlock's coming back, or you got Fulmer coming back. You got some guys, But I wonder if this bullpen could end up being an area that they take a look at the deadline. If Ryan Helsley's still out there, could that be a possibility? Maybe. Who knows? Maybe they have some injuries in the rotation. The rotation's looking a lot better, but maybe some guys go down. You never know how things are going to unfold. Could they go after a guy maybe like Sandy Alcantara? You know what I mean? We'll see. But the Red Sox, all of a sudden, just like that, got that much more exciting. There's so many things to think about right now. I'm still processing this. in my head. Let's go to the super chats here. Scott Braun is in the house. Thank you for the support, my friend. Scott Braun, the host of Foul Territory. Everyone, go subscribe to all the Foul Territory shows. Go to Foul Territory. They got all these shows now for the Cubs, the Cardinals, whatever it may be. They got it all. So go over, subscribe to all their channels. Scott, thank you, my friend. Thanks for being here. Exciting time. Dilcor, $5. Cheers, Robbie. Cheers to you, my friend. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. What else we got? I think we had another one. I love the name here. Stressed out Red Sox fan, $2. If Vladdy doesn't get extended, is Boston going after him? That is a good question. I think that's pretty interesting. I wasn't even thinking about that. I don't know. I'd have to think about it. Now they got the opt-out. That's another thing. Who knows if I don't know, man. For Bregman, I mean, the only way I could see him opting out because maybe he wants to get a bit more long-term security, but $40 million, I mean, that's a lot of moolah that you'd be leaving on the table if you opt out. But I could see the opt-out for wanting that longer deal, kind of like what Matt Chapman did. I could see it. So who knows? If he ends up opting out, then all of a sudden you got $40 million coming off the books. Maybe. We'll see. But, Vlad, Vlad's bad at Fenway Park. I mean, crying out loud. If you're looking for the next Manny at Fenway Park, we'll look no further than Vlad Jr. I think I'm going to give you the boring answer, but I'll wait and see. You got to see how this plays out. But right now, I'm going to process what we got right now. Hey, Vlad Jr., if that ends up happening down the road, then okay, we'll cross that bridge when the time is right. Right now, I'm too excited about this. This is great. So many good emotions right now. I'm going to be falling asleep a happy man, and I'm going to be waking up saying to myself, we have Alex Bregman, and we could actually make some noise in this division this year. I can't wait. Everyone, thank you. We did go live on the main channel a little earlier. Had a huge turnout for that. Thank you for coming out. If you did to that, if you came out to that as well. And then thank you for stopping by tonight. This is a huge night, huge moment for Monster Territory over here with the Foul Territory Network. Also, don't forget, we are sponsored right now by Baseball America. Go check it out. They have a great deal going right now. Use the code MONSTER30 at checkout, and you get 30% off for your first year. And if you are live with us here on YouTube, they got the QR code right there. So it's nice and simple. Just scan it. It brings you right to the checkout. I've used Baseball America for over 5 years now. It's been a major resource for me, doing my main channel, doing all the research and whatnot. But if you're just a baseball fan and you love digging into the prospect stuff, look no further. They have such a great thing going on over there. Just some of the smartest people in the industry working over there. We talked with Jeff the other night here on this channel. He was raving about all the prospects. They got a lot of good stuff going on over there. I'm telling you, I would not vouch for something if I didn't believe in it. And Baseball America, they got a great thing going on over there. But everyone, I'm out of here. I'm going to wrap this up. Thanks for joining tonight. And if you are with us in podcast form, go have a good rest of your day wherever you are in the world. Everyone, on that note, have yourself a great night. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you next time.